Why do you
Yeah.
quit recording after that?
I know. I really should. I was like, man, I should have hit record the second you came up. But oh well, I didn't.
Oy.
Then the breaks.
That's right.
Can't help it now. Oh well. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Rewatch Recap, where we recap shows for nostalgia and pure amusement. I am Dustin, and here with me again is our favorite guest host, Kay.
Ooh, favorite.
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 Well, I mean, obviously, you've been on here the most, so.
I guess so, huh?
You really have. I mean,
I like Shelly's done a lot, too.
Shelly has. She's,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not calling favorites of people. I'm just talking about as far as like how many. That's what I meant.
I'm
Okay.
a favorite.
Calm down, everybody.
Okay. We're all equal favorites.
There you go. Anyway, so we're back again for Dead Like Me Season 2, and we're already back in the Reaper shenanigans. First episode was kind of, it was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay. It wasn't that
All
great.
right. Mm-hmm.
It's fun. But now we're in Season 2, Episode 2, which Kay is going to take over for, and that is titled The Ledger, and it originally aired August 1st, 2004.
Good God.
I know, like it was
21
years ago. Like it, like
can
the
drink.
show, yeah, the show can drink and George can't.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of funny. Anyway, so here we go with the episode. Take it away, Kay.
Okay. So previously on Dead Like Me, George has a very, very brief fling with the quote-unquote cute new office boy after an explosive reap reminds her of her own death. Roxy joins the police academy. Mason broke his sobriety after a particularly difficult reap at a 6-year-old's birthday party. And Daisy steals a cross necklace from one of her reaps. And George's parents decide to get divorced.
It all pretty much what needed to be said, like everything that happened. So
Yeah.
it all.
That's the opening.
Oh yeah. We never did that last time.
We didn't do it last time.
Oh,
no.
God. All right. Dead Like Me opening.
It's George. What did you say?
I said,
Dead Like Me. Shh, shh, shh. Okay.
it was Season 2 edition.
Yeah. Okay. So I keep hitting things. So the opening monologue starts with, most girls my age are obsessed with pretty similar things, fun things. Some are obsessed with flirting, some more than flirting. Some are obsessed with their ride, or whether to wear really ruby red or silver city pink. Me, I was obsessed too. I was obsessed with Post-its. Post-its and death. I was beyond obsessed. And then we see somebody stealing a buttload of Post-its from Happy Time. They're
stealing Post-its.
Stealing Post-its. It's either George or Rube. Rube just has to steal Post-its.
Rube drew some really feminine hands.
Yeah. So, all right. So George shows up at Rube's and she's demanding to know if he was the one who wrote her name on the Post-it. And she wants to know what other information that he gets besides their first initial, last name, time, and place, which is what they see.
Exactly. What we were asking about last time, which was kind of funny. I totally forgot this was happening. So.
Yeah. And so, he's kind of like not playing her off, but trying to put her off. And she's trying to look through his books and stuff. And, she wants to know if it said that she was only 18, that she didn't have a driver's license or a boyfriend, or basically hadn't had the chance to experience anything in life. And he responds by telling her about a Persian mythology and how basically everyone tries to seek balance in the end, right? When they meet their maker or whatever. And she's just kind of pissed off that that's the answer he gave her. And she starts to storm off. And And he calls her name and he's like, George, I did write your name on that Post-it, but, I didn't know what a good kid you are. But even if I did, I still would have done it because that's the way of the world. So basically telling her, like, it doesn't matter.
Like, I thought we were over this.
She's
Didn't he do this all in season 1?
Yeah. But I think that the first episode kind of set her off on this tangent again. You know what I mean? Like, she's all existential again.
Yeah, I'm like, she accepted the death thing. She was cool with it. Now she's like, nope. I'm like, maybe this is why it got canceled, because people got tired of, like, we went through this already, you know?
And, like, also, she can do all those things. Maybe not as George, but she can get a boyfriend. She can get her driver's license. Like, she can do stuff.
Well, strange she didn't get it before now.
I mean, 18.
In a place like, 18 in a place where you would probably have to drive most places to get there.
Yeah, like, I'm sure downtown Seattle has public transportation, but they're all in the suburbs, right?
Yeah, there's no way. They don't have, like, they don't have, like, an L train or anything going to the suburbs or anything.
Yeah, so that's strange. But yeah, where was I? So, George is riding her bike down the street because she always just rides her bike. Sorry.
George rides her bike down the street.
I'm going to do the very dramatic reading of this.
Oh my God, you're going to be Mr. Katemsky.
Oh no.
Could you read slower?
I love Katemsky. But she's riding down her old street, as she always does on her bike, and she sees the for sale sign out in front of her old house. And we hear Joy on the phone, and, she's basically arguing with Clancy about the real estate agent. And, he asked for Reggie, and Reggie's like, no, I'm not, don't tell him I'm here. Like, Reggie's turned on Clancy for sure.
Yeah.
And once they hang up, she asks Joy, she's like, why do we have to sell the house? And Joy's like, well, your dad owns half of it. And she's like, well, just pay him for half. And Joy's like, well, or she said something like, I can't afford that. And Reggie's like, then you're just going to have to go back to
work. Reggie's keeping it real.
Dude, I love Reggie.
Like, sorry, Mom. You had to get a job.
And this bee was like, me going back to work would be a major lifestyle change for me. It was like, and uprooting your daughter and moving her out of her house isn't?
I mean...
Like, I understand that it's probably expensive to maintain that house on your own, but that statement was just like, okay.
You need to go back to work.
Yeah. And Reggie was just like, or she said something, don't you remember how miserable I was? And Reggie's like, you're always miserable.
I know.
And Joy's like, no. And she's like, miserable in a shitty apartment or miserable in your big old house? Her face was just like, girl, I love Reggie with all my heart.
You know what? I'm glad she stuck with Joy, because it makes sense, though, because Joy kind of keeps it real with her.
She does.
Clancy's just all about, like, talking to her like a little kid.
Yeah. And he cheated. And
he cheated.
Reggie knows she cheated because they're not quiet in their arguments.
No.
So, yeah. So I'm glad she's on Joy's side, even though Joy is always miserable. But anyway. And then she also says, like, so we have to move to a crappy apartment because you're lazy. Like, this scene was just so good. It's so many good, like, Reggie quips. So now we're at Der Waffle House, and apparently Roxy has already just become a full-blown cop and is carrying a gun.
How much time has passed? It's usually like what, at least like 6 to 9 weeks or something like that in like academy or something?
I feel like it's a long time, and I don't think they'd let you cruise around with a loaded gun until you pass, right?
Unless she like did some kind of training for her meter maid stuff that kind of pre-qualified her for some, I don't know.
It was fast though. But like Mason is just hounding her to, he wants to hold her gun. Let me hold your gun. Let me hold your gun. Let me hold your gun. Just being annoying. And so she just whips it out and points it at him in the middle of Der Waffle House. Tiffany walks up and just like, here's your juice. Just kind of looks at the gun and walks away.
Like, she's used to it from them. Like,
oh my God.
There's craziness always happening with them.
I
It's
know.
never a dull night. Whenever they come in, which is
Yeah.
every day, but still, like
Yeah.
whenever you're working that shift and they're there, you're like, oh, some stuff's gonna go down. Let's see what I can hear this time. And
It's like, whatever. Yeah, there's a gun. Okay. And then like George arrives and she's trying to talk to him about her house being for sale. And there's this whole like double conversation. They're talking about the bill being wrong and she's talking about her house. And apparently they didn't charge Roxy for her fruit salad. And she's like, yeah, because cops eat free. And Mason starts to kind of rib her about, everybody hates cops. and and Tiffany comes over and they ask if, cops eat free. And she's like, no, but they get free coffee. And she goes to fix the bill. And like Mason he keeps going on. And Roxy whips out her gun again. And like George is like, don't. And she shoots him under the table, like in the foot or something. People just kind of turn around and then just go immediately back to eating their food.
I mean, no one screamed. No one ran away.
No one hit the deck. No one was like, oh
my God, call the police. Well, because it was a police person. But still, it was a loud bang. Everybody should be like hitting the floor, like, or under the table at least.
Yeah. And then they just calmly go back to, oh, so your parents are selling the house, huh? Oh, that's a bummer. Meanwhile, Mason just passes out from the pain. Like it's...
Yeah, he just falls down under the table.
I just love how everyone's just like, whatever.
I love the little sitcom-y moments like this. It's fun.
Mm-hmm. I like Roxy. So your parents are selling your house, huh? It's just all calm after shooting him. And then we learn that Mason is trying to start a new money-making hustle by doing the whole like pee under the nutshell, moving it around. Where's it at? Where's it at?
This is so stupid.
And he's really, really bad at it. Really bad at it. And while he's kind of messing around with that, Daisy, sparked by her newly acquired cross necklace, has become just obsessed with Catholicism. And she's going,
your Catholicism.
Consolidate your Catholicism. And she's going on about the different saints and whatnot. And Rube walks in and tells George basically that, he's like, don't you usually ride your bike here? She's like, yeah. Like, it's not out there. She thinks he's messing with her, and she goes out there and realizes someone has stolen her bike. They took it without the wheel.
Like,
yeah.
How are they going to ride it? Are they just going to get a new wheel? I guess,
Yeah. And as she goes out there to check on that, like Rube looks at Mason. He's like, let me see your version of the shell game. I could really use a laugh this morning. And Mason goes, huh? And Rube goes, huh? Just like this weird little like mocking moment. I love it. Then we see Joy back at the last house, and she's kind of going through a box of George's things, and she pulls out one of those clay handprint things and has a nice little memory of George doing that at the table, and she's feeding baby Reggie, and her and Clancy are like,
back when they were happy.
Yeah, it was really sweet.
I guess, you know what? The joy was in her hair. She cut that hair and boom.
She still had it, yeah.
She kept the name, but lost the feeling.
Yeah. Poor Joy. And then we see George at the police station because she wants to file a report for her missing bike. And they give her a form to fill out. And she sits down on a bench between this old woman who's knitting and a guy that doesn't look like he's in very good shape. And as he kind of scooches over, she sees that he's just completely bleeding out of his stomach. And she's like, holy shit, did you see this? To the woman sitting next to her. And the old woman kind of shakes her head or nods her head. She's like, what happened to you, dear? Someone stole my bike. It was a really cool bike. The old lady's like, a man fondled my behind on a city bus. George says, there's no excuse for that. And she like looks at the guy again. She's like, I think he was stabbed. She looks over at his paperwork. She's like, yep, assault with a deadly weapon. Knitting needles. Looks over at the old woman. She's like, the shithead had it coming.
But dude, why isn't he in the hospital?
I know.
Why are they just letting him bleed out in the middle of the station?
Bleed out, not important. So Mason is still trying to try out his shell game skills on Rube. And of course, Rube is trying to give him some pointers, telling him he's got to mesmerize the people with his words. And Mason says, I can hypnotize them with my cat-like movement. And he tries to be suave, and it's just...
There's no... it's funny, he's only moving 2 around.
I know, the whole time, just 2.
There's 3 of them, and he's moving 2.
The one in the middle just always stays there.
He just goes around it with his arm. Ooh, like, you're not doing anything.
You're not doing it right. And Rube asks him if he's drinking again, and he's like, no. But then Rube gets up to go to the bathroom, and as soon as he does, Mason pulls out a bottle, takes a swig, pours it into his drink, and they all sit very close to him. They don't smell the alcohol on him if he's drinking again.
Oh, they totally smell it, but they're asking him. They know.
Yeah.
They're not dumb.
Poor Mason. And then we're back at the police station, and George is, being an entitled teenager, and she's being loud. She wants someone on her bike being stolen. Like, they don't have better shit to do.
They're like, that's petty. That's nothing.
Yeah, that's a victimless crime, they say.
That doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. That is, I agree with her. Victimless, I get it's not like a hard, like...
Right. Nobody was injured or harmed. Yeah, but I mean, she is a victim.
Yeah, your stuff was stolen. I'm the victim. Yeah.
And she yells, who do I have to kill? Get some attention around here. Like, girl.
And they all like look at her like, excuse me?
Maybe not the police department. But as soon as she says that, Roxy's walking in with a couple other people, and she's like, I'll handle her. She takes the report and tells George, like, I'll give this the attention it deserves. And George knows exactly what that means. And she's like, look, it's on the books. It's not a priority. And George narrates, like, I'm on the books, but the books don't really give a shit. In the end, the lesson the system teaches you is pretty simple. You're on your own.
Yeah.
It's so true. The sooner you learn that, the happier you'll be. I don't know.
Calmer?
Yeah. I'm also curious
Not
what
learn that,
time...
accept that.
Accept it. That's true. I'm curious what time her shift, I think we've discussed this last season, at Happy Time starts, because I feel like she's had a whole day before she shows up at work.
It's like, is it 8? Is it 9? Like, yeah. But see, she never had like full, like, she still doesn't have a full 40 hours somehow.
That's true.
How many days does she work now? 4? I think she works 4 days, right?
Well, they just gave her 2 more. I don't know how many she had before.
I think it's 4 days now. I think she's working, she had 3. And they gave her 2. Oh, they gave her full 5 days, but it's not full hour. I don't think it's a full 40-hour work week yet.
I want that. I want those hours.
I mean, man, like, come and go as you please and don't get fired.
Right. She literally has whatever she wants. Speaking of, she finally makes it to Happy Time, and she walks in, and like everyone's gone except for Crystal sitting at the desk. And she's like, "What is it, Saturday?" And Crystal's like, all staff meeting. But Crystal doesn't have to go because she has to answer the phones. So she...
Rare talking from Crystal.
I know.
Crazy.
She actually said some words. And so George walks into whatever conference room, and there's like a presentation going on, and the presenter is like, theft, thieves, harm, everyone's fun time. And she sees Dolores across the room, and Dolores is like, where were you? And she's trying to mouth and mime that her bike was stolen. And finally she just gives up and like yells over the guy, just like, my bike was stolen. And like the guy continues, stealing company property is no joke. People think, oh, the company is sucking my life away. I'll just take something back. And George is like, who is this guy?
I'm thinking, kind of, that's exactly what we're thinking.
Yeah, like, who is this guy? And Dolores tells her it's the security expert because of all the supply theft that's been happening. But then George basically starts to be real disruptive, and she starts ripping on this guy for his misspellings because his next, is it acronym? Right? It's an acronym.
Yeah.
He says rip off, but it's report, identity, prove, ostracize, fire. And she's like, that's rip of. And he just like, no, don't be a smart ass. She's like, don't you mean smart as?
Yeah, no. I love that part. That's great.
And he basically like gets in her face and tells her, I better watch it. Whatever, dude. Now we're back on the street where Mason has decided he's ready to start swindling people for money on the street with his shell game. And he's doing his really crappy thing, and you just hear the guy be like, it's under that one. Of course, he guesses right, and then we see the dude is blind.
I mean, my God. He's got like clouded over eyes. Like he is blind. They don't work at all.
And you could see Mason kind of start to think like, well, I could just lie. And the girl with him was like giving him a dirty look. So he's like, take your money. And just then Rube walks by. Yeah. Rube walks by and he's like, how's that revenue stream running? And he's like, really well, actually, Rube. I've actually saved you something from the earnings. And he pulls his middle finger out of his pocket and flips Rube off.
I mean...
and then we see Clancy roll up in a brand new convertible because of course he got a brand new convertible. And Joy is like, yeah, it looks like a real chick magnet. And he comes inside because he's coming to like pick up some of his stuff. And they kind of have a touching moment, remembering a trip they took to Maui. And then they immediately remember that they hate each other. Go back to
like every single time they have a touching moment. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh yeah, we hate each other.
Oh wait, I'd hate your guts.
I love that look. Like I was getting ready for her to like protest about the ashtray.
Yeah. And she was just like, whatever.
I took the ashtray, so I'm taking it. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Sure, dude. Because he's probably going to start smoking again now that he's Mr. Cool Guy. And then back at Happy Time, we see another shot of supplies being stolen. And Georgia's walking through the office to her desk, and everyone's kind of eyeing her and moving like out of the way, like their purses and things. Like they all think
they're like,
she's the like, thief now.
I want your fake Prada. Yeah.
And then she gets to her desk to discover a Post-it, which why did Rube come into her office and leave a Post-it on her desk?
No one's going to know what it means. The ETD thing. And
has he ever done that before? I feel like he always hands them out at their Waffle House.
Either that or she already had it. She just kind of had it sitting there.
Maybe. But anyway, she sees that it's like soon. So she's running out of the door to make her reap when Dolores stops her. And she's like, you just got here. Where are you going? And she wants to think of like a better excuse. And she imagines herself just telling Dolores the full on truth. Like, I'm a reaper and someone's going to die violently and I got to go save their soul. And Dolores is like, oh, that's death for you or something like that. That's death
for you. Like, yeah, that would have been
but
great.
In real life, I know, right? At first I was like, no, this has to be fake. But then Dolores is weird enough where she would just be like, okay. You know?
All right, Millie.
Sure, honey. But no, instead, she's like, oh, that security guy really upset me and I need to go to a AA meeting. And then she's like, if I wasn't dead, I'd bore myself to death.
Do they have AA meetings like 24/7?
I have no idea.
Because like people, I got to go to a meeting. It's like, but it's midday. Is it happening right now? Like,
I'm sure they happen at like different times all around, but I don't think it's like a 24-hour.
You know what I mean? Like, all right, in the next 10 minutes, we have AA meeting number 506 today.
Right.
You know, like...
Yeah, that's a good point. I keep losing my train of thought. We're at the mall now, and there is a mall kind of demo area, and there is a guy up there, and he's demoing the kitchen guillotine, as he calls it. And there's about, 5-6 people in the crowd just watching him deadpan. They're bored out of their minds. He's doing his cheesy one-liners, trying to like pump up the crowd. And
like he's in an infomercial, like he wants to be.
Yeah, and they're all just staring, except for one guy who's just kind of, yay, like, doing the thing, but not really into it. And then he asks for a volunteer, and he sees George. So he makes her come up there, and he's like, look, kid, I got to move 4 of these by the end of the hour. I'm a dead man. He's like, just read the script. So then we see a graveling appear, so we know something's going to happen. And he's trying to show how to make orange juice with the guillotine, and there's a juicer up there, and he's like, oh, it's also easy to clean. And he takes the top off of the kitchen guillotine for some reason, and then just leaves the open blade. And then he's like, oh, we've got fresh juice. We can make mimosas. And he pops open the champagne, which hits the mirror above him, which comes crashing down on his head. And doesn't behead him, but his neck lands right on the guillotine. He dead.
He died like instantly. It was bad.
He real dead. And, you know, she looks at George, who has blood on her. He's like, oh, you got some juice on you or something. She's like, it's not juice.
That's you.
And she sees a rabbit foot keychain hanging out of his back pocket. So she swipes those and, you know, walks off with the dead guy. And then we see her in the garage and she's clicking, trying to figure out which car it belongs to. And George just scored a sweet ass classic convertible Mustang.
Like, where the hell did this guy get the money for that thing? Right. And then he can't push these guillotine juicer things.
Who knows? But the trunk is also full of kitchen guillotines, which at first she removes, and then she's like, no. She goes back and she grabs them all again, puts them in the trunk of the car.
Mm-hmm.
And we're back at the last house, and Joy and Clancy are still arguing over who gets what, being really petty and shit. And when Reggie walks in and she, you know, hears them, she slams the door really loud to stop them from arguing. She comes in and she sees George's box of memories. She opens it up and sees the clay handprint. She's like, oh, did I do one of these? Clancy's like, sure you did. And he looks at Joy and she's like, oh, poor Reggie, like didn't get to do any of the things.
Yeah.
So she just takes the box and goes upstairs. And then there's a little reap. Daisy goes into a pawn shop. She's looking at crosses. She's talking to the guy. He ends up dying. She reaps him. And his spirit was like,
that's not so bad. She reaps him.
She reaps him. That does sound really bad.
He does this. She reaps him. And then, you know,
she takes
and then she steals one.
And then, well, she asked. Well, he offered. He offered her a mirror. And she's like, can I have one of those crosses? And he's like,
oh,
sure.
He gave her that cheesy line.
Oh,
you want to see the most beautiful thing I have? What you want to see? Like, and he goes and he gets him the first time before he dies. And you know this is the time he's going to die because it sets it up. And then he gets that mirror and he puts it in her face. That's the most beautiful thing, don't you think? And it's like, oh, that's sweet, cute and corny.
She's like, yeah. He seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah.
And then we see Mason back on the street and he's given up the shell game and now he's selling kitchen guillotines.
You gotta let the rinds.
Yeah. And he's like, it slices, it dices, it'll cut your hand off if you want it to. And the same creepy guy from the mall is standing there like, but he looks dirty now. I don't remember him being dirty in the mall. Like, it was weird.
Was he a Reaper? Did he know what was going on?
Maybe.
I wonder if he was an upper person that we're going to introduce later on. Ooh,
yeah, could be.
That'd have been a neat, like, season 3 storyline.
Yeah.
The next level of management up kind of thing.
But basically, he's like the one that delivers the list to Rube. But yeah, Mason's like, you're creepy. Get the fuck out of here. But he's selling them. He's selling those kitchen kitchens for $10 each. She could have gotten more. But George rolls up to her. Well, I think I short circuited there. George rolls up to her old house in her new ride, and apparently she has scheduled a meeting with the real estate agent to tour the house. And, you know, it's like the first time she can go in the house without breaking in. And she's basically trying to get information. She keeps asking the real estate, well, like, where are they going? Why are they selling? What's happening? And finally, the real estate was like, oh, yeah, you know, they lost a kid, which is really hard. They're getting a divorce. And so immediately George just stomps up to her old bedroom and discovers it turned into like an exercise space. So her world
almost. It's only got like one piece of it. Yeah.
There's like an exercise ball and like, I was going to say a Walkman.
A bike?
Not a Walkman. Treadmill.
Treadmill. Okay. Yeah.
Or maybe a bike. Yeah. Something like that.
Walkman. Get on the treadmill.
So, you know, bad day all around for George, except for her brand new sweet ride.
I mean, that's the trade-off.
Yeah. So now she's back at Waffle House and she sits down and it's just Rube there and she's kind of like displaying her keys on the table and he asks her, you know, about the keys and she's like, she had a really, really bad day and she just thinks she was meant to have this car. And this is risky because Rube is the type that'd be like, no, Peanut, you can't have it. And, you know, make her give it back to somebody, right? But
I love when you do his accent. No, Peanut.
No, Peanut. And she asks him again what else it said about her when her name came up. And he was like, it says that you don't have a driver's license. But then he asks, like what happened? And she tells him that her parents are getting a divorce. And he tells her basically, he's like, it's not your fault. He's like, in my experience,
George, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
What is that from?
Good Will Hunting.
Yes. God, that movie was good. I was like, I know this is from something. But he's like, death of a child doesn't kill a marriage. Sometimes it gives it an overdue burial. You can blame yourself if you want to, but that young lady would be unfair. And then he leaves and he orders her chocolate ice cream on his way out. And like, he's just being really sweet and fatherly.
But she's got to pay for it.
I know. Well, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
There's a tab. Maybe there's a tab. Well,
he's got a tab for sure.
He's there every day.
And then we see George and Daisy cruising around in her Mustang, and Daisy tries to put the cross necklace on the rearview mirror, and George immediately takes it off. And she starts to narrate, tonight, somewhere else, maybe there's a different girl who's dodging a bullet or stepping out of the path of a speeding train. A girl who's lucky. I don't know. I figured that since I had a pretty harsh stretch of bad luck when I was 18, the whole toilet seat falling from the sky and incinerating me kind of bad luck, I figured it would be reasonable to expect a change of fortune on the other side. Why shouldn't I get the books to balance? Why shouldn't I make things add up? And then we see Crystal coming home, and she's opening up a closet that is absolutely filled to the brim with Happy Time supplies, like thousands of Post-its.
Like mostly Post-its, yeah.
Thousands of Post-its. And
why is she obsessed with Post-its?
I think she's just obsessed with being weird.
I wonder.
Ooh, do you think
Crystal...
she is?
No, I wonder if she's noticed the Post-it thing with George and has somehow just become obsessed with them because of that somehow. Maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because if it was just any she was definitely taking other stuff, I feel like, in one of the shots, but
it was mostly
Post-its. Yeah.
She's probably like, I do need some pens, but I really just want to take the Post-its.
Want a pen and more Post-its. And she even opens up a duffel bag that has even more Post-its, and she just smiles.
Crystal's so crazy. I love her.
And then George continues to narrate, I'm tired of playing by the rules. I want to be bad. I want to have fun. I want to keep stealing back pieces from where my life used to be. I'm just like everybody else, and I'm ready to even the score. And then we see her pull up to an outdoor bar, patio, where Mason is hanging out with a bunch of friends, and she goes up and she's hanging out and having fun and talking to everybody. And that's the end of the episode.
Oh. She didn't try the Ruby. What was it? Was it really red? And what was the other one? Pink?
Silver City Pink, which didn't make sense to me.
That's weird. I would go with really red.
Yeah, it was Ruby Red, Silver City Pink. Yeah. Always red. Always red. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. That's fun time. Okay. What do you think was your funniest moment of the episode?
Funniest?
Yeah.
I have a few. Let me see. I guess, okay, I'm going to pick this one. I just think it's funny because this is something that Jason says all the time. When Daisy is going on and on about the patron saints, and then she asks George, do you know what the Holy Trinity is, George? And Rube says, we're in a restaurant. It's peppers, onions, and celery.
True
that's
that.
what I'm going to go with.
True that, yeah. Oh my God. So I hate, it's a funny line only in that it's so bad. So Rube said something to Mason about, only smart people can do whatever. And then so Mason says, I'm so smart, I'm practically
She's like, oh, we don't use that word.
Smart people make do really stupid things or something like that.
Yeah.
He was, I'm so smart. It was so oh my God, we don't use that word, but it's hilarious that you just said it in that regard.
Oh, Mason, bless his little heart. He's struggling.
He is. He's struggling. Yeah. Oh, well. Okay, what was your
Yeah.
favorite character in the episode and why?
I am going to go with Rube this episode because he's just like extra funny and quippy, I think, with all of them. But the fact that he didn't get on George for taking that car, and at least for now, I don't know what's going to happen, is letting her enjoy it and keep it. I got to give him major props for that.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. Yeah, two of them. Mine was Roxy for the gun scene alone. She just finally shot him. Like, okay,
Yeah.
boom. Which was awesome, and Crystal for being the thief.
Yeah,
because Crystal's awesome in that really weird way.
Yeah, for sure.
You want to be friends with her only because you want to know the weird stuff she does.
Yeah.
And know that it's not, and be friends with her so it doesn't happen to you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like finally her and George have a truce now, and they were doing the weird to each other for a while, and you're just like, ooh, I don't want any part of that.
No. Oh, yeah. What was it? It was like
snot and like, I don't know, all kinds of weird shit. Licking.
Sneezing on the, oh God, it was sneezing on the keyboard.
Yeah.
And then it was something else. Like there was dog crap on the, underneath the desk.
George left dog crap under the, yeah. No, thank you. That's a hard pass.
It was hilarious though. Okay, and I'll go for first on this one. The worst character in the episode, for me, it was Joy and Clancy. Just that whole, I'm tired of their marriage problems. Just get it over with. Like,
yeah, poor Reggie. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Poor Reggie, torn. Put in the middle of it. Of course, she's choosing a side because Yeah. But I understand the feeling. Trust me, my parents did that crap too. Yeah. Argued in front of me and stuff, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's worse, like if they're arguing all the time and you know it's coming, or if they don't argue at all, and then all of a sudden it's just over and you had no warning, which is how my parents' divorce was.
Oh, okay. Did you didn't know at all? You didn't have any kind of inkling that was going to happen? Oh, huh. Yeah, that seems like that might be a little worse because you're blindsided.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, okay.
Because for me, I was like, please get a divorce. Please get a divorce. Get it
over with. Yeah. Both are not good.
No. So who's your character? Your worst?
I almost did a Joy and Clancy combo.
Okay.
Too, but I decided to just go with Clancy for just being a predictable scumbag.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah. He was the one that cheated.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also, like you said, got the chick magnet car now. And
yeah. I feel like, you know what? If you're the one that cheated and you're the asshole, just get out of your house, take what you are given, and don't be a
Exactly. So. I agree. And he should just give her his half of the house.
Yeah.
He should have just given it to her. That should be like how it works. But
especially if he can afford to go buy a brand new convertible.
Yeah. I mean, I'm leasing it, but still,
Yeah. But leases are cheaper, but still.
Do you remember the scene she found that book, and when she found the necklace and inside the book was Charlotte from the first season giving him the book? Oh.
Uh-huh. And just to have that in your like family's library.
Yeah.
Ew.
Or it was his office library probably, but still.
It's still in your house where your kids are.
Yeah. Anybody can find it. That's just
gross. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So our episode ranking. So from 0 to 5 gravelings.
Mm-hmm.
How many did you give this?
I give this one a 3. I thought it was pretty. I thought it was good. I wasn't like, wow, it's a great episode.
Yeah. I give it a 3.5. Pretty much the same vibe,
Yeah.
We got some things moved along. We got established that Roxy is definitely a cop now.
Yeah. Who's just shooting people in public.
and no one does anything.
Yeah.
And then we also got George has a new car, which is great. We find Daisy's finding religion, maybe questioning things about faith. And the fact that she didn't want to sell that necklace for how much was it? It was like,
I don't remember, but it was a pretty decent amount.
It was a few thousand, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that. But she didn't want to sell it. She wanted to hang on to it, which is weird because she's always, first season, she was always trying to make money. And now she didn't even have to scam and, she didn't want it.
I actually really like her a lot more this season so far. She seems to have calmed down a bit.
Well, she's not always talking about who she's blowing and, and name dropping and stuff all the time. So, but she's kind of But of course, nothing stays that way forever.
Yeah.
It's just like George just reverted back.
Yep.
Who's to say Daisy won't either?
True.
Oh, well. What do you think, rewatchers? What do you think of the episode? Reach out to us social media on Blue Sky and on TikTok. Let us know. We want to hear your thoughts. And, make sure you subscribe if you're on YouTube and be notified when we have new episodes, which are usually every Monday. But we might double up and start doing some Thursdays. We'll see. Pay attention. Just, subscribe wherever you're going to listen or watch and
do that thing.
Yeah, there you go. What she was doing.
Hit the subscribe button.
There, whatever.
It's
anyway,
somewhere
on this page. Anyway, so see you next week for episode 3 of season 2 of Dead Like Me. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.